Box checkers are the stocks that check all the right boxes before I ever place a trade. I mean, one thing that people really struggle with, so many new traders, is being impulsive. What looking for the right criteria does, slows you down, keeps you from chasing, keeps you from just piling into a stock and holding and hoping. So what we're looking for, all these criteria, we're going to go over them. They got the volume, they got the news. They ultimately have the potential to move. A lot of people wonder why they buy a stock and it either just stops or collapses. You have to know what the potential is before you enter. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what I look for when scanning really all day long, but particularly in this video, morning. A lot of you guys know the biggest runners happen in the morning, so it's going to be weighted towards the morning, but really these criteria are applicable from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. And what we're looking for is so that you can stop wasting time on crappy junk setups and start focusing on high probability plays. Now, as always, you can never guarantee a winner. Okay, nothing you can do can guarantee a winner. But as much as I hate gambling analogies when it comes to trading, because I don't think we're gambling if you're doing it the right way. Now, a lot of people gamble, but if you're doing it the right way, you're not gambling. But the way I like to think of box checkers as, it's kind of like playing poker. When you have a really good hand is when you push a bunch of chips in. If you have a mediocre hand, that's where you either call or you fold because the odds aren't in your favor. What we want to do, now you could have a great hand, you could have a full house and still lose. It's kind of like that with trading. You can still have a perfect box checker and still lose, but you're going to put the money in when the odds are in your favor, when you have a good hand, a good setup. Let's start at the top. I mean, what is a box checker? It's a stock that meets multiple criteria. I've been trading 20 years. I know what to look for, but we're not looking for one criteria. A lot of people just buy stocks because there's news. A lot of people just buy stocks because there's volume. We're looking for multiple criteria that stack those odds in our favor. And the more boxes it checks, the more likely, can't guarantee anything, but more likely it is to be a profitable play. So that's what we want to do. Don't chase just because one thing looks good or two things. Stack those odds in your favor. So the first box I look to check, and this is kind of typically where we start. So these are going to be in order. So we're going to start out with, is there a catalyst? Okay. Is there a reason for this move? Now those reasons can be varied. It could be a pump, okay? I know pump and dumps kind of have a bad reputation, but if a stock is being manipulated by a big chat room or a prominent person on Twitter, I mean, we see that a lot. I mean, we don't have to believe in the pump, but if this stock is going to go from $1 to $10 because somebody or somebodies are pumping it, well, why not buy it 2 and sell it 4 and don't stick around for the full pump? But that's a pretty good trade. So we want a catalyst. That could be pumps. Now that's a lot, especially in penny stocks. That's a lot of them. But the other thing we're looking for is real news. Now you'll notice I put real in quotes, okay? It's in quotes for a reason. I'll do the air quotes as well. But we're looking for things that actually have potential of creating an all-day or a multi-day move. We're not looking for rehashed news or fluffy press releases that are talking about potentials or maybes or we're thinking about this. So when it comes to real, it's contract announcements, it's investments. Something right now that's been moving a lot of stocks are these pipes. Okay, you'll see that term. It's a private investment in a public equity. So that's basically when a wealthy individual or an investment firm or basically somebody with money puts a bunch of money into one of these stocks because they obviously want to gain from the stock doing well. So watch for pipes. That's a big one. Big name partners, another one. We've seen a few of these recently. We've had a couple small stocks, partnerships with NVIDIA. Now this is where you want to be careful. You want to avoid those. We're working with a big name partner. A lot of people, and say it's in AI. People will insert OpenAI, they'll insert Microsoft, they'll insert NVIDIA in their imagination. We want named partners. We want them to say in that press release, and what's typically you'll see is the big company, there'll be a companion quote there. You know, Jim Smith with NVIDIA says, yeah, we're really looking forward to this partnership with ABC penny stock, like something that can confirm that this isn't just a hope and dream fabrication. So we got contracts, investments, new products. Now, new products that are ready for market. This trips up a lot of people in biotechs. Again, they'll talk about we're working on this thing. Well, if they're working on a cure for cancer, that might be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, probably going to be never. But like, we don't want to see stuff that's just we're working on it, like actual marketable products. We have this new large language model. Click here to get access to it, like actual real stuff. So those are kind of the big ones we look for: named partners, contract announcements, SEC filings. I'll save this for another video because it takes a lot of time. But the nice thing about SEC filings, if it's in there, it has to be the truth, has to be legal, has to be vetted. So there's a lot of things we look for, but I'll save that for another video because that can take about an hour to get into the key things. But check those. Best thing I would do is subscribe to the channel. Okay, we've got a bunch of videos on that as well. Now, the next thing we want to really look for is float rotation. Now, you may know this, you might not know this. I mean, okay, when we're talking about day trading, really all day long, but particularly in the morning, we're looking for those stocks that are trading a minimum of the float before we even consider it. You'll see this. Basically, we're working through a progression here. You'll see a stock with news, but no volume, no float rotation, goes nowhere, or it spikes a little bit and then fades all the way back. So we want to couple a catalyst, a real news item, with real volume. And when we're looking for that, we want to see the daily trading volume at least one multiple of float rotation. So when we think of low float stocks, we're talking less than 10 million shares. So let's say this stock has 9 million float. Before we even consider checking that box, it's got to trade 9 million shares on the day, because that shows us that we've got new buyers, we've got new interest, and we have the potential for a sustained move. So minimum of 1x float rotation, but I really prefer before even making, that's kind of like a screening criteria, but before entering, I'd tell you wait for 2x float rotation. So in that 9 million share example, 18 million shares. Next box, unusual volume. So this applies particularly to the higher float stocks or maybe mid float stocks. But what we're looking for is that 60-day average volume. So that 60-day average volume is going to give us a snapshot of the recent activity without going back years, decades, etc. With these stocks, a lot of them are new issues. They might not have long-term history. So there's simply no data there anyway. But when we're talking day trading, it's recent moves, recent big moves. So we really care about what this stock has been up to lately. That's that 60-day average. So we have this built into stocks to trade. You can screen for it in any platform, but until we have at least 5 to 10 times the average 60-day average volume trading, it's probably just going to be another pop and drop, failed breakout, etc. So look at that 60-day average and a minimum of 5 to 10x rotation of that. Like this, and you might think that's uncommon. It's actually very common. A lot of these stocks will trade 10,000 shares a day in their average history, maybe 100,000. So if you think about that, 10x the 60-day average volume, it's only 1 million shares a day. Probably won't even rotate the float at that time. But we want to couple these two together. Float rotation plus 60-day average. Next is what I like to call a clean daily chart. And that's kind of one of my terms, but that's something what we're looking for is in the past history, using all 3 time frames, the zoomed in, the intermediary 60-day, and the 1 year, 1 day. We're looking for stocks that have made what we call that all-day move. So if you're looking at candlesticks, you're looking for that big green candle with, tight wicks on it. When what that'll show you on the daily chart is a stock that opened the day low and closed near the day high. Now you're going to have little wicks. We don't want massive wicks, because if you have massive wicks, it tells you that stock shot up big and it pulled back hard. Now when we have small wicks and a big body, that tells us that that stock started the day low and closed near the day of the high. And then what makes a really clean chart is a day 2, 3 continuation. Now that second day and third day, the candles are going to be much smaller. I mean, a lot of these stocks make massive moves. They're not, if they spike 100, 200, 300% day 1, very unlikely they're going to continue that on day 2 or day 3, but maybe it's 10%, maybe it's 15%, but we've got a multi-day move. Now what that shows is that, what we're trying to avoid here, spoiler alert, is those one and done, just random spike and then straight death. That's what we want to avoid. So if we can see that sustained move over multiple days, that gives us certainty that there's a good chance this stock will do that again. That's what we want, okay? Now occasionally you'll have one and done charts that become multi-dayers, but it's rare. The stocks that are the best trades have put in that type of price action in the past, and you probably heard me say this a million times, but history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. When we're talking day trading, particularly in the morning, it's gotta be low float. It kind of frustrates me. Like recently we had a couple. Actually this week, LAC and Open, which have been great stocks, but people get all fired up in the morning, and then funny enough, at the end of the day, they complain that the stock only moved like 10%. Now 10%'s not bad, okay? Especially if you're new to these stocks, you might be like, my 401k, I'm happy if it goes up 10% in a year. But I think a trap that so many new day traders, particularly those with small accounts, fall into is they trade these stocks and then they get frustrated because they don't make the massive move. And if they simply would have looked at the float, they would have known that. So next is low price range, 1 to 10. And this is kind of simple, but we trade these stocks because they make the biggest moves, and the biggest reason they make the biggest moves is because people can buy a boatload of shares of a $1 stock. I mean, it's just, don't overcomplicate it. Like the reason $400, $500 stocks never move 100% is because they're just inaccessible to a lot of people. When you got a $1 to $10 stock, anyone can trade it. So focus on all of these criteria every day. You want to trade the best setup, not just any setup. Box checkers let you move with confidence, and great trades come from great prep. Now, if this helped you, hit the like box and drop a comment. And let me know, what boxes do you look for before placing a trade? Or don't you look for anything? You just buy and hope. That being said, don't miss the next video. I'm going deeper into how I rank each of these setups each day and build my watch list in under 10 minutes. I'll see you there.